Welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8 and this is going to be a short video. It's just me posing a question. Where would you guys visit if you could go to other countries? Say if you didn't have to work all the time at a job and you had plenty of money to travel comfortably. Where would you go? If you're not someone who lives in America, would you ever travel to America? And if so, why? And as far as other countries, I know some people would probably say things like England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Spain. Let's see. But if I had to pick just three, I'd imagine that I would probably choose to travel to Japan, Germany, and Australia. And not just Japan because I'm a weeb and I love anime, but that definitely influences the decision. And not just Germany because, Rammstein's. And of course, even though I really don't know how to speak any languages other than English, I'd imagine I'd probably have the easiest time learning languages like German and Spanish, mainly because, I've had more exposure to those. I am trying to learn the hiragana, which is like a Japanese phonetic lettering system. And there's like hiragana, and then there's katakana, and then there's kanji. I'll say this. Like the hiragana itself is like set up like a freaking mathematic grid. And there's stuff like dakatana and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't understand how Japanese people learn this stuff as children. I mean, I'm an adult and I feel overwhelmed trying to learn this stuff. Plus, looking at the way the hiragana is written, I'm going to have to be so legible writing that in order for anyone to actually read my handwriting. Whereas with English, I don't really have to worry too much. I mean, granted, I've been writing it all my life, but I feel like even if it's a little messy, I could just look at it and know what it says. Whereas the hiragana, I feel it's a lot like draconic, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it's really cool. I just mean, just like that stuff in the Dungeons & Dragons book, it looks like something that I would have to almost have calligraphy level skills in order for it to be legible, just because it's like, take the letter S in English. It's just a squiggle. Whereas a lot of stuff in hiragana, it looks much more complex. And that's just the hiragana, which is a phonetic system. The actual words in kanji, that looks so complicated. And while I've been watching anime pretty much my whole life, this is the first time I'm actually trying to sit down and... Because, I have understood a couple words here and there of Japanese. But this is the first time in my life I'm actually trying to sit down and actually try to learn it. And it's overwhelming. And granted, I'll be honest, yes, albeit I am learning Japanese for very frivolous reasons. I want to sing Japanese anime songs. I want to karaoke songs that I'm pretty sure even people in Japan would probably call me a weeb for doing. Even people that sing karaoke would probably look at me like I'm a nerd. But then again, in their defense, I am a nerd. I've been playing video games and watching anime all my life. I enjoy a good story of all genres, whether it's romance, action, horror, a detective story, comedy. That kind of reminds me, there was this one video, there's this guy who does clips of stuff like what a speedrunner looks like from an NPC's perspective, as well as stuff like with Star Wars, where Palpatine's doing that thing with Mace Windu with the shocking, and Anakin's standing there, and he's like, save me, Anakin, I'm weak. And Anakin's like, it looks like you're just shocking yourself. You could just stop shooting the electricity But I'm so weak, Anakin! And he just keeps shooting the electricity, and every time he goes to shoot the electricity, he, like, something changes, like, oh no! I'm older now, Anakin! I now have tan shorts! Like, it's making that joke about the way certain clothing styles change as people get older. And then it's like, what happened now, Palpatine? Oh, now I'm wearing sandals! And then, like, I didn't really see a change. I didn't see a change, Chancellor. Oh, but look, Anakin! My sandals are smaller and my toes are hanging off the edge. And the nails are longer and yellow. And it's like, please stop using the electricity, Palpatine. And it's just silly stuff like that. So, I went off topic. Main point I'm trying to say is this. I like Japan for more than just anime, but it definitely influences my reasoning. And Germany, I think it'd just be interesting. Plus, I'll be honest, granted I haven't seen this friend in years, but there was a friend I grew up with, which feels like eternity ago now. Like many lifetimes ago in the life of Lunar D8, I had a friend. I have several friends, I just don't really see or talk to human beings very often except for work and stuff, and most of that involves me being pissed off at people. Granted, I don't show it, I just smile and be all patient and shit, because one, I'm not really a mean person, but also two, it just wouldn't be very professional. That being said, people piss me off, and I'm like, I want to yell at people. But, you know, that just wouldn't be very nice. But, main point, what am I talking about? I'm getting off topic. Main point is, like, that friend, his parents, actually, when they were in the military, I think back in, like, the 90s or something, or the 80s, I can't remember when, they were both stationed over in Germany. And they had lots of very interesting stories. They actually gave me a couple books on how to speak German, which I have still, and I have at least looked through. And looked through, I meant I looked through them like a decade ago. But, yeah, most of my understanding when it comes to how to pronounce the German language is Rammstein, which I've tried to sing some terrible karaoke of Rammstein, which I would like it if it were better, but, you know, it's very difficult to actually sing in a foreign language. Heck, I can't even sing right in my own language. But it is interesting to try just different languages and just see, like, because I know, like, in Spanish, no matter how hard I try, I can't do that whole rolling R thing in certain enunciations they do. Like, I can't seem to, like, even if I try it and they're like, yeah, you're not saying it right, like it sounds right to me, at least as far as I can tell. And I'm trying to, like, mimic the sound they're making, but, like, I'm falling short. So I must have too thick of an accent, which I don't even know. What would anyone call my accent, especially if you're somebody else who speaks English? Because from what I understand, there's at least 30 different dialects here in America. And then, of course, there's, I think, 4 different dialects in England. And then, I'm not sure how you would describe the different, how many dialects there would be for, say, Canada or Australia, since I believe those are the main other countries that are predominantly English. But, yeah. Also, Australia, other than it looking pretty cool, I mean, I feel like with the wildlife of Australia being as dangerous as it is, I feel my reading of Warhammer books, like Tyranids and Necrons and Chaos Demons and stuff, should prepare me for Australia. And people in Australia are like, it's not that bad. I'm like, I've seen pictures of spider season, guys. I've seen pictures of entire fields of trees covered in spider webs. That shit looks fucking terrifying. You have a plant that causes neuropoison that makes people kill themselves. You have kangaroos that get torn ears and then wander around cities punching people in the face. So I kind of feel like what I read in a book of Warhammer 40k about Tyranids. That's kind of what I expect to see. And I mean that in a way that I'm trying to make people that live in Australia laugh at this joke. And also to share their actual experiences of Australia. Heck, I don't care what country you guys are from. Or if it's just another state here in America. What is it like where you guys are? What can you tell me about it? And most of all, wow, I'm 10.5 minutes into it. It was supposed to just be a short thing where I was like, hi guys! Like if I had the ability to just travel and just chill and hang out and have fun, honestly, I'd probably spend most of my time trying to actually learn skills that I neglect, like playing guitar or trying to draw or learn other languages. Though honestly, I'd spend a lot of time just watching anime. But I've always had an interest in being able to travel a bit. I just never really had much of an opportunity for it, just because that shit's expensive. That, and I'm also antisocial and tend to be... I'm trying to talk to people, okay? So, that's a start. I'm attempting to be more social in the real world. My success rate of that is not important for the validation of this discussion, though. I'm just saying, if I had to pick 3 countries I'd probably just want to possibly even consider moving to and living in, because I'll say this, I think America's awesome, and I'm happy to have been born here. But if I were to pick other places to live, maybe Germany, Japan, Australia, I wonder if I'd be able to actually have citizenship in all 4 countries. I don't know. That being said, just learning one language would be kind of hard. I imagine if I were to learn languages, like right now I think predominantly I'm going to try to work on Japanese, but I think if I could have 2, I'd probably want to be able to learn Japanese and German. Though of course I've had an interest in just about all the languages, but it's just, those are just more interesting to me, I guess. Mainly because of Rammstein and anime. I'm a nerd, okay? I'm a weeb. Heck, I made a video once called All the Weebs and Gamers and something. Yeah, I took that song from the Pirates of the Caribbean where it says, like, never shall we die, you know, thieves and beggars. But I just replaced thieves and beggars with weebs and gamers. So, yeah. Main thing I just wanted to say what places I think would be kind of cool to visit. Possibly even live in for a while. Granted, I'm too old to be a fucking exchange student in a school. Not that I think I've ever actually seen a school that did that kind of thing. It's mainly a more thing you see in like TV and anime. I'm not sure. I don't think it's very common at all for it to happen in real life. But also, what countries would you guys be interested in possibly visiting one day? You know? So, or if you know a place that you think is cool, why is it cool? Or why would you want to go? And what languages? Like, are any of you out there bilingual? Or even more than that? And if you only know one language, what additional languages would you want to learn? And if you do know multiple languages, what's your experience with that? And what additional language would you want to learn? Though honestly, I'm not sure if my brain would, like, I don't think my brain really processes even just English correctly. It's my own damn language. But I imagine Japanese and German would probably get a little, if I were to actually properly learn both, they would probably all mesh in my head and everything be a blur. But I think there's, like, what's the limit to how many languages a human being can learn? Because, I mean, even if you are a genius, I mean, there has to be a limit to what the human brain can process. Like, there has to be a limit to so many different ways you can have a word for something before your brain just can't function it anymore. No matter how smart you are, there has to be a limit. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here. Bye, guys.